ESL One Genting 2008 is well and truly underway. In fact, it's coming to a close in terms of the group stages, but don't get too panicky. You've still got 3 more days of the playoffs to come from the Highlands, of course. 6,000 feet up in the sky, plenty of points and plenty of money on offer to our top 16 Dota 2 teams from across the world. We've got 9 of the 10 in the DPC fighting it out for even more points here. It's probably the most competitive tournament we've had so far of the season, and we are getting down to the business end of the group stages right now. Just a few more matches to go. We're trying to find our 5th and 6th teams that will join the top 4 that we already know have qualified for the playoffs. Moving on to our next matchup now. We've also had a little bit of a change at the desk as well. Welcome back, Fogged and Cap. How you doing, boys?
Doing good.
You're good?
Yeah. Been very relaxed
How
today.
excited are you for this next game?
Woo! I'm excited to see these. It's a best of 3 because we saw this one
best
earlier.
Of one earlier.
It was a best of 1, and we're like, to do so.
Yeah.
So yeah, excited, but I think we're gonna see a lot of similar things between these two teams.
Yeah,
Heroes,
We're
style.
going to have Vici Gaming versus VGJ.Thunder, which, as you said, is a repeat of the first round. Cap, how much knowledge do you take from that? How much knowledge do the players take from that in terms of going into this one, or did you just scrub that one out?
I think you kind of scrub it out. You look a little bit at the drafting and everything, but I think you more focus on the overall trends of the tournament. I think both of these teams, look, you're in the lower bracket for a reason, right? So you got to be looking at what are some of the teams here that are doing very successfully. What are they drafting? What are they doing right? See if you can make some small adaptations and absorb that.
Okay, let's take a look at the lineup for VGJ.Thunder first off. Give you the rundown of who they are and why they are where they are right now, because they are the informed team, Fog. They are top of the tree in terms of both games played and the fact that they've just come off the back of a tournament win against EG as well. In theory, they should be the red-hot favourites in this game.
Yeah, in theory. However, they're playing versus a team that knows them so well.
Yeah.
But I love that you said like they played the most games, and I feel like what happens is that, for me at least, I guess saying as a support player, your supports get very in unison. And that's, I think, what all of us have been seeing from this team. Sure, Siler's been playing better and better. He's been getting more and more comfortable with this team for his carry, but these support guys are really what's just running the show. What's
the impact of ROTK on this team, for those that don't know?
I would say that there's kind of a leading voice for kind of a young team. For many players that probably don't have a wealth of experience, he can give them both not just Dota knowledge, but I'm sure there's also some competitive knowledge to be given, right? Like, I mean, you've experienced it, Vog. Like, it's different, right? Playing on LAN, playing under significant pressure.
Oh, definitely. I mean, also, they probably also have this. They're like, man, we can't do bad because then ROTK's going to yell at us. I mean, you don't want to get yelled at by ROTK.
And he's loud.
Definitely.
That's as good a reason as I've heard so far for not playing badly when you're in the same team.
You don't want to have
ROTK.
hearing damage. Believe me, I know. I've been around Paul and Nahaz so much this tournament that it's like, you got to protect your ears, you know?
Cap! Stop now!
Or whenever Alan hears anything about Dota, he just gets so excited.
I've got the greatest Alan impression ever. Oh my god!
He's like, no, that's not going to happen. No. I got to cut you off for a second, Paul.
Love you guys. In terms of Vici's approach to this tournament, like, I don't know where their mind's at right now, because they've just come off the back of 3 second places in tournaments, admittedly one of those in a slightly different format, but they head into this and they don't look good right now. They've struggled throughout this tournament. Lost to VGJ, didn't they? Nearly lost to SG, they nearly lost again in the lower bracket. They can't afford to have another sloppy series here, otherwise they're going out.
Yeah, the fact that they almost lost to SG, I honestly think VGJ is going to take this series. I think, like, there is a risk, you know, obviously they know each other and things change in that regard, but I do think VGJ is just operating better. I think mechanically in team fights, like, they're playing better around each other than Vici Gaming is.
I'm glad the last things you said right there, team fights.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I mean, we've been saying a lot about this patch, but it's a lot about team fighting here, and I think, Thunder has a little bit more together. They just seem to be making the plays as a unit rather than like each guy making their own individual.
Yeah. We've mentioned that they're sister teams, and they will have played a lot together. They do practice together as well, so they'll know each other. So they'll have, presumably, we'll have our own little meta between these two over a 3-game period.
I definitely think so. I was literally I just glanced for a second because I was pretty sure, and I'm like, oh wow, looking at their top like win rate heroes, it's like identical. Tusk, Elder Titan, support heroes, of course, but yeah, I think I'm going to see some similarities, but I also agree with Cap. I think Thunder will probably take this one.
I was just re-looking back at that draft because I remember there were a lot of unique heroes for that, right? We had like the early pick of Tidehunter, and then the last pick of Pitlord.
Oh, the Thunder.
Thunder?
Yeah, that's what it is.
What he wants to call it.
When VGJ pick it, it's called the Thunder.
Okay.
Wasn't Vici who picked
I got told.
It was Vici who picked
Wouldn't it be Thunder Hunter?
I thought
That works a lot better. That sounds
That
badass,
sounds
too.
really good. It's like,
It's like the
Tide
Storm
Thunder doesn't-
Chasers, Thunder Hunters.
Tide Thunder does not
Man,
roll.
I should be head of
doesn't
marketing
work,
somewhere.
right?
Like, these people have the wrong names.
Yeah, I think we could come up with much better names. I like that. Thunder Hunter is much better, that's for sure. So competition-wise, obviously plenty for the hero pool, but what do they need? What does each team have to focus on? Is there a particular lane? Is there a role? Is it a style? What's going to win them the series?
I think team fight.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
you
think
think it
cool-
comes
I
down
think
to... Does it
for
come
these
down
two
to
teams-
Vici having much better team fight?
Yeah, I think so. I
To
think
be competitive?
I think one of the actual key to the success is Elder Titan.
Really?
I think Lanem's best hero right now in this patch.
I remember like a lot of the struggles that we saw from Vici Gaming was their ideas of like the rotations and like them trying to gank an Underlord.
Oh, I do remember this. That's
Yeah,
right.
that was like a really big problem for them is that they lost so much ground in trying to gank a hero that is first of all hard to kill, hard to take down, and doesn't really rotate very well to the other side of the map.
Sure.
So I think like fundamentally they had maybe some wrong ideas about that, and that extends to a lot of their team fights and a lot of their initiations. Is that it's just not the right approach that they're taking.
I actually, that's a really good point. Like those first 20 minutes are probably going to be really important for Vici, just because of the way that I saw. Not even just the smoke movements in that game, in a couple of the other games too. Their smokes seem to not be that successful. They seem to just prioritize. They like to go for like this type of tower, but it doesn't seem like it's what they want to prioritize versus that lineup that they're playing versus. It seems like it's just like beaten in their heads. Okay, we want to do this, but they're like, oh wait, we're not looking at the opposing draft so much. We need to prioritize if they have this. I mean, in that game specifically, like Adusa, Ward Ancients, prioritize rather than taking this top tower, go on enemy jungle, etc.
And it seems like most of their drafts are oriented more towards that early mid game, and it's their opponent that has the better late game. Well, if you're struggling in being able to make your smoke rotations work, like that's the blood of your whole entire early game, right? Like you have to be able to make successful smoke rotations that gets kills, gets objectives, and then use that advantage to build and build. But if you can't take that initial step, then your early game, mid game is just never going to work out for you.
Headed towards the draft, of course, very shortly. However, let's just compare the two teams in DPC terms between them right now, because it's quite off in terms of form. VGJ outside of the top 10 right now and have very few points because they only had that, I think it was 5th, 6th, was it? PGL? All the way back to PGL, maybe?
They didn't do well at TGL, I remember.
Yeah, 5th, 6th. They were 5th, 6th at PGL, and they had no other points in the rest of the DPC. None.
How many points would you get for first place?
What, here?
I mean for the
PGL.
minor. All right.
300.
Or was Galaxy Battles a minor or a major?
It was neither.
It was.
I mean, you know what I mean, right?
It was a major.
Like if
they had,
if their first place,
Yeah.
was a
other
major
teams
win.
would have been
Yeah,
there.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's just funny that like their best performance so
Yeah,
far
that's
unfortunately netted them 0 points.
But then on the other side of it, Vici Gaming are currently 5th in the table right now.
How many points do they have?
I don't know how many points
No,
they
exactly,
have
yeah,
top, but
okay.
5th right now. That puts them firmly in a good place to make TI.
And everybody's been saying like they were looking really good. They were like one of the top Chinese teams, like top 2, I would say, with Newbie.
Yeah.
Alan had a number that was like what the team should be hitting, right? And it was somewhere around like 25 or 6,000.
I have those numbers here.
6,000-ish.
I think it was about 6,000. Oh, well, I don't have that. We were going to discuss that. It's actually
So
on my list of things
Knox
we were
was
going
saying
to
like
talk about.
6,000-ish.
Yeah.
6,300?
6,400?
6,037.
6,037.
Very specific.
For guarantee.
Ish.
Very specific.
6,037-ish.
I don't want
Ish.
to guarantee, like, but I mean either way, like no matter what it is, 810. Like that's what they're sitting at right now. It's
it's
we've
kind
got
of
so many tournaments coming up, right? Vici Gaming. If anything, Vici Gaming really need to do well here because they're not at some of the coming up tournaments, right?
That's also a key point, and they're in a difficult region to qualify.
Yeah.
Is the other point. They're not always guaranteed. I mean, we've seen some real strange qualifiers from China.
Yeah, we have.
Not the usual that we would see. I was thinking, who did we see earlier in the season? Was it PGL where there was a strange qualifier from China? I want to say they came from the open bracket all the way through to the main. Or was that ESL Hamburg?
I think
there's too many qualifiers.
I know,
so
right?
many games
They
and
just lost and
qualifiers.
blended a bit. But there were one team that came through that had never played on LAN before.
I'm gonna check.
I think it was Hamburg.
I mean, previously it was Keen who went to Hamburg.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
Hamburg. That's
and
right.
I'm very sad because I was super excited about that team.
And that team came from the open qualifiers in China all the way through a main qualifier with the likes of IG and Vici and Vitality and NFY and LGD and eHome and just about every major tournament team that you can imagine have all played on LAN, and they won the entire qualifier to get through, which was astonishing, really. But it just shows you how competitive that region is.
Yeah.
A team like that can come through.
Is Keen still around? Just curious.
I haven't seen them.
I haven't seen them in
top
a
four of any qualifiers.
That's the problem,
so.
right? They haven't got out of the open qualifiers.
Okay.
They don't get the invites still because there are still 8 teams ahead of them that get invites to qualifiers. So.
That region is terrifying, but Vici matches up pretty well versus the Chinese teams, right? Overall, and like
usually,
usually do. Yeah. So that could put them in a decent spot. But yeah, I think this is a tournament that they need to do really well in. Just to leave them good taste in their mouth going into Chinese New Year. Then they all relax, get back into the groove of things, right?
King just played
China.
a game actually against Vici Gaming just 2 weeks ago in the Star Ladder qualifier,
which
and
they lost
2-0.
Yeah.
Rough times.
Tough times for our friends Keen.
Dude, I was so hyped about them.
Yeah, we all were. We were looking forward to
their
it.
4-position support, I was so
Oh man,
hyped
I didn't get to
about.
see so much of Hamburg either.
It was fun. Yeah, we saw quite a lot.
Yeah, I know. I was doing another tournament at the same time.
We were trying.
Yeah, we were in Manila, and
at the same time.
we were finishing our day, and we'd run back to like one of the rooms and try to watch
and you
the
were
games.
trying to tune in?
Yeah,
I mean, it was the same for us. We kind of got back to the room and then went, let's not tune into that.
Unfortunately, Yannis did not have that front row seat that we get as casters at that tournament.
Did you not have a front row seat?
No front row seat.
Yeah. I noticed today as well, we don't have a lovely dynamic background. It's been DMCA'd.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
I really like the very pretty shots of Genting.
They are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Beautiful in 4K.
Have we bought enough time yet,
I
Paul?
love seeing those kind of...
Well, I mean, I've got plenty we can fill.
All right.
We have plenty of stuff.
No, we did have some good topics if we ever got to them.
We had some great topics if we needed to, yeah. We haven't really talked about player changes too much. We talked about Misery obviously moving to EG, and we talked to Universe moving to Fnatic, but we haven't talked about some of the other ones. The Super IO swap, what do you make of that? Because this is apparently a trial run where Super goes to IG, which presumably means they've got a lesser hero pool, and OP comes to LFY to fix everything that's wrong with the team, and then they're still bad.
Yeah, they looked really bad.
They did. I mean,
look,
I'm totally an LFY fanboy. I love that team.
Me
I think
too.
It's such a cool team. I loved all the stuff they did at TI, and afterwards you're so excited about, this is cool, it's such a cool team. They're almost meta-defining team, and then just terrible. So I hate saying that they're terrible, but they are terrible right now.
I mean, go back to like you saying, like the times are changing. Like that's exactly what this point of January is for. That's exactly why Valve set this up. So I mean, all right, teams can experiment.
Transfer window.
Clearly, it's not that.
And it's going to take some time, right?
Yeah, it is going to take time.
Imagine like your Immortals, right? QO just left.
MSS
right? He announced
as well.
his retirement, right?
Yep.
Imagine you're Immortals and you have to change the team. QO is no longer a part of the team, right? Up until that time, you've built the team around QO's playstyle, very similar to Super, right?
See you guys.
Like he has a certain playstyle. All of a sudden, that goes away. Like everything changes for you as a team, and you're not going to pick that up right away. So
the opening game that they played here, right? We're like, wait, they picked Dragon Knight. Super's not here. What's going on right now? Pretty fun.
Yeah, I think they forgot. Let's get into the draft for game number 1 between the two Vicis. Vici Gaming J.Thunder, the J of course standing for Jeremy Lin, and it's the bands completed are...
Nice name drop, Paul.
What, my friend Jezza?
Yeah, your friend Jezza.
We've hung out.
I know nothing about Jeremy Lin, and I know that's not his nickname. That is so uncool.
Yeah,
that is a nickname created 50 years ago when you were still a kid,
It's
Paul.
a very British nickname.
Jezza.
Jezza, yeah. Known to his fans as Linsanity more often than not, though, of
Because-
course. Which is a much better name. Sorry, Jeremy, for butchering your name.
Jezza. There's nothing wrong that could go with that nickname whatsoever.
Here we go then.
I like these Vici bands.
Omni Knight.
I really like these Vici bands.
To bail me out. You don't like them?
I do.
Oh,
Look at Vici's bands. It's like, hey, Siler. Hey, Siler.
It is, isn't it?
Lycan and Medusa taken out in the first phase. And then we were mentioning the Elder Titan. The ones that are... That's shocking to see Naga Coddle bands, right?
Right.
I know they played it, but...
So with all those bands, they're just going to take a DP now? Early DP?
Naga they banned away last time. So.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
But the Coddle is a little bit surprising to me. I wonder what that is about.
This is the opener that Vici used versus Fnatic. The Rubik Death Prophet.
I like the Tusk on me, though.
I do like Tusk and Omni right now. They are looking really good. And Thunder also has an enormous win rate, and I'm pretty sure that's his best hero by far on Fade. Fade on that Tusk was tremendous at Galaxy Battles. I think he has like an 85% win rate or something. And actually, Vici, if I'm not mistaken, I think Vici actually bans that hero a lot. I guess everybody does.
Yeah, I mean, it's his most played in 707 as well.
Yeah.
I think ban away
5 seconds.
the Viper, right? If you are Vici Gaming, because you don't want to have that Viper Tusk matchup against the Death Prophet. We keep seeing that combination of heroes. Tusk SF, Tusk Viper feels really strong dual mid lane because the shards is just such a death trap.
They have to I mean, we're going to see what we've been seeing for quite a while, these dual lane mids. Pretty much. If they pick a Viper, it's going to be Rubik Death Prophet versus Tusk Viper.
Yeah. Or if you're Liquid, quad mids.
Yeah, quad mid works. just for level 1. Just for level 1, it's fine.
Just for
Can't believe that ended up in a 4v3.
Yeah, they just instantly go for the kill and TP. I actually thought that's what teams are going to do a lot when we see that like Clockwork Shadow Fiend stuff or something, anything like that. You just 5-man, kill this guy, doesn't matter. You all have TPs level 1. You can TP to your lanes afterwards.
Yeah,
no
surprised
tiny
we don't
ban
see
either.
more of that. You're right.
No Tiny Ban, and that's one of the most picked heroes as well for both teams. Mostly for Vici in comparison, but. So PL and Terrorblade, two of the stronger carries that we've been seeing, of course. Some pushing carries that just could be super strong in the late game.
They don't have a saving hero for the Death Prophet. Vici Gaming normally, if they're running Death Prophet, they're running some sort of saving hero.
Yeah.
They're willing to run Oracle. And that hero is not in vogue right now, but
It's good
combined with the Death Prophet.
It's cool with
very
Death
strong.
Prophet. I wouldn't like it with Rubik, though. Like, Rubik.
No. So I was thinking from
Yeah.
the off lane, I think they need a saving hero.
A Doom.
Maybe like some sort of Abaddon, Tidehunter-esque kind of hero, where maybe a mech hero, something like that.
So
Yeah,
Night
Night
Stalker.
Stalker for the 5.
They're trying to match the movement from the Tusk and also the silence.
four.
is super, yeah.
Could be the 4, actually.
The silence is very useful versus Omni Knight. You force him to actually have like a weird kind of item build to have to deal
Yeah,
with
it's more
that.
likely to be going to fade, isn't it, on that Night Stalker?
Yeah, I think he's going to be prioritized
Yeah.
on the farm. Maybe not, though. That's the thing. It's like, it could... Rubik actually has an incredibly good game already. Rubik versus Omni Knight, that's the dream. Like, you
Yeah,
literally pretty
that's
much
true. The
target
better
that
Omni.
Yeah, you steal from Omni every
the
single
better
one of the
Omni
fights.
Knight.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. So, Tiny and Razor Bands, they want to take out the heroes that can lane easily versus the Omni Knight and kind of shut him down.
Are there any other of the big safe lane heroes left that go well against Omni?
Not as
There's, like,
popular.
Monkey King.
Ursa and
hero's not
Monkey
really
King,
big.
but they're not. Those aren't things
Yeah,
anymore.
Ursa's not really getting picked at all, is it?
No, they're really just
Fallen right out of favour.
So Witch Doctor.
Is it Brew bad?
10 seconds.
Brew's still in the pool.
Yeah, Brew's still.
Okay. They pick up the Void.
done. Yep.
They did this combination before with the Death Prophet. They can pick another really a stronger range carry if they want and play really greedy against VGJ, depending on what this 4th and 5th pickup is. Because you don't feel too pressured by what they have just yet.
Remaining.
Man, Paparazzi Void. Huh? Fun.
Yeah, that Witch Doctor, though, that's, as Alan said earlier on, is 1 and 10 right now.
What is it?
1 and 10.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's really not good.
Thanks, stats man.
Not,
I mean,
not-
I'm just-
not good at all, really.
I'm trying to look at like why they picked it. That's what I'm trying to figure out here. Why they would have picked the Witch Doctor there just for Thunder.
Do they
Got
think
back for
that
DK?
maybe the Maledict is effective versus Death Prophet? It's not really, right? Because you just
Maybe-
have such a good source of heals from Spirit Siphon.
Maybe because they have Tusk, they're like, all right, Tusk is going to be sitting mid. We want to have a really strong 5 just sitting in the bottom lane to zone, right?
Right.
Just have like this really like stable
10 seconds
laner
remaining.
that can solidify it. I think that could be what they're looking at.
5
So they
seconds
got
remaining.
Dragon Knight.
That's good. They really needed this kind of big-time lockdown for the Void. That was my biggest concern
Okay.
looking at this, right? Because they only have Paralyzing Cask and Snowball. Like, we were just watching that Weaver game against Tusk, right? And when you have some of these very mobile heroes and you don't have the lockdown, it can be pretty problematic.
Pretty nice for Death Prophet, though, versus DK. Not even just in the laning phase. Later stages, DK is very tanky. Your Siphon, you actually heal so much if you get it off on that Dragon Knight in the fights.
And maybe they're going to just do a safe lane Dragon Knight or something, like some sort of dual lanes, and then maybe run some sort of carry like Tinker or OD last pick for VGJ
10 seconds
against Death Prophet.
We can't even put past Vici that this is, what, the mid Death Prophet, right? They picked OD yesterday, too. They had OD, Death Prophet, Legion Commander cores. They had some bit of a strange draft.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Yeah, look at that. Vici Gaming banned the Tinker.
Yeah.
And the
I was
battle
surprised Bat was left for so long. That's one of the also very high win rates for these teams. It's like actually 90-something%, I believe. For
and we're looking for a... Are we looking for a Yang hero? Yeah, no. Well...
Yeah.
Depends what they do with the Omni, right?
Depends what they do with the Omni, actually. You're right.
Yeah.
Which is more than likely his hero.
5
Yeah.
seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
SF.
Okay, yeah. So it will be the Yang Omni.
So Tusk SF, and they're putting Dragon Knight safe lane.
Yeah. And then Vici. What do Vici do here?
It's the combination we were talking about, right? The presence of SF, Tusk in lane is really scary around level 3.
Everyone's just been matching the Viper versus Shadow Fiend every time. I'm wondering if they're just going to pick Viper and move the Death Prophet or something. Because Death Prophet can suffer a bit.
They
here.
can mid the Void as well. Void,
Man.
They've got multiple places for the Void, right?
If they didn't have Omni, I think this would actually be like a pretty good Legion game or something.
Every time I see Shadow Fiend, I actually just think Viper now, because I don't know what else does well versus that hero.
Yeah.
And with Tusk Shadow Fiend, like even Death Prophet can get killed. So, double down on the big team fight. So Void safe
Holy
lane,
noses.
Enigma off lane. Bit
Wow.
greedy on Vici.
Definitely pretty greedy, but I think the team fight does offset the presence of the Omni Knight. I think that's part of your problem with most of the remaining offlaners. Like Legion Commander, you don't feel good about going up against Omni, but you feel good about SF. At Baden, you feel good about your teammate Death Prophet, but less so the Void, right? Enigma is a risk, but it does ensure that they have superior late game, superior team fight. I actually kind of like it here. I think it's one of those rare Enigma games.
I'm a double bubble fan. Void Enigma, seen in the past, have
Let that Midnight Pulse do serious
it's
damage.
just so disgusting to play against.
I think it's like they can go into this Roche pit eventually at one point, and it's like, come at us, right?
Yeah.
Death Prophet ulti, Enigma ulti, Void
Yep.
ulti. It's gonna be really hard to fight. So
All right,
I'm liking
one word.
Vici.
Which way are you going?
I'm gonna go Vici.
Vici?
Was Vici the one with Enigma?
Yeah.
I thought it was VGJ.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's Vici.
VGJ had the Omni that you didn't like.
I don't want to go. All right, I'm switching. I'm going VGJ. Omni Knight.
Okay, all right. Oh, Omni Knight for Cap. He goes VGJ, and Fold goes for Vici Gaming. Let's find out how they both get on as we go over to our commentary team for game number 1.
Thank you, Paul. As we come into game number 1, Vici versus VGJ. This is going to be a lot of word vomit coming out of my mouth probably this game.
It's going to be a little confusing.
Yeah, for us, for you guys, for everyone.
Bear with us, bear with us.
Yeah. Omni Knight versus the double bubble. Is it double trouble for VGJ?
These
they
two
got
teams,
the answers.
by the way, have already met.
They've already have a what?
They already met, didn't they?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was VGJ took it 1-0 in the BO1s.
But it's a best of one.
No big deal. If anything, like you learn from that, come back, get some revenge.
In a lot of situations, like Penta was up 1-0 against EG, and if it was best of one eliminations, then they're just out.
Yep.
But now EG's 2 rounds further.
Yeah, AG's 1 BO3 away from main stage.
Yeah.
Anything crazy coming out from this draft? Enigma is always a big hero to talk about. Looking at like ways to cancel BKB Black Hole, very limited, just the Walrus Punch, which is not reliable. Have to kind of get the exact right trajectory with it.
I think he's going to have a pretty free game. Like, I've seen Enigma a lot more in my games lately. Like, I think I've seen, like, Monkey's Trevor play it a little bit, like 2 games in a row. And his Enigma was... Actually, I don't think that was his fault. I'm just going to call out and say Stan King mid 100% lost us that game. He was Queen of Pain against Lisa, and he went, like, 0-4. But Monkey's owned.
Wand Enigma. I feel like I've never seen this build.
The 1 HP regen, dude.
It's nice. Isn't 1.5?
Is it?
Yeah, 1.5, right? Hook us up, JJ. How
Hook
much
us up.
magic?
Check
Magic
it out.
wand. Magic wand regen.
He's so confused. He's like, which one is it? It's
Enigma.
Enigma.
1.5.
1.5.
Yes.
It's the Mango. Ice Frog really wants Mango to be a thing.
He loves his mango smoothies.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's a big mango believer. Silo DK versus Death Prophet mid. It's a SF safe lane. That seems a bit weird and wonky, but they wanted that SF. Normally, I've seen the SF picked a lot against Death Prophet. Why are you thinking they're running it safe lane?
I think it's because he knows that he's going to be dueling against the Night Stalker, and I don't know if the Tusk can help too much. Plus, DK. I mean, DK versus Enigma sounds okay, because the Eidolons don't really do anything to you, right? And then you just get Breathe Fire, and it's fine anyways.
Breathe Fire, Soaring.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd imagine. I'm not sure. It's really rare for me to see safe lane in SF. Just because the hero, like, it makes so much inherent sense in the mid lane. Because the hero doesn't have a lot of kill potential until you hit that, like, sweet spot of hitting the odd level numbers. And you get that fastest, obviously, in mid lane.
We'll see how he fares bottom. It does feel like he may actually... I mean, he's only going to have the Tusk there leeching XP, which is something that could often happen mid, where you have a Tusk roaming around.
Yeah, it would have been
leeching
fine.
anyways. But offlane they're trying to pressure Paparazzi on the Void. Yeah. Laning-wise, pretty even. Do you think one side's going to be coming out on top with this laning setup?
I actually think... I was looking at that. I think Vici will be okay in this. Like, Yang's going to have a nice time at top, because even though you can time walk the heal, it's still really annoying. And at the same time, this Shadow Fiend... Like, this is what's weird about it, because his base damage is so bad that Enigma is just going to deny half of them anyways, and you can't do anything about this. And this is the bigger problem, is that the Night Stalker can just run bottom, and it's an even easier kill for him.
Buy some time. He's trying to get those last hits on the Eidolons, but... Yeah, whereas you may send your SF not to the mid lane, but we're still going to send 2-3 heroes after him, regardless.
This is why that's confusing to me, because the problem is, like, they can't contest the Void in the same way, and so generally... They can kill the DP. Like, SF hits level 3, you get Snowball and Shards, you just run at that DP, even with the heal, it doesn't do anything. Like, look at this, the Shadow Fiend, like, maybe he gets this kill, but it's not as easy for him.
And the mid lane just seems so natural for, like, a Tusk SF, because the Ice Shards can just block, like, that entire mid ramp, and so I feel like I've seen that Tusk SF mid just get huge amounts of kills when played together there.
Yeah. We saw that yesterday in the Liquid versus Navi series.
Yes.
Where Navi was just, like, abusive with it.
Yeah.
They ended up losing that game pretty bad, but...
The Tusk SF looked pretty damn good in the mid lane here. Again, the rotation's coming in. You're in this safe lane that you don't have a tower nearby, and you're just so exposed as Kama Freeze brought down 2 deaths in quick succession here at bottom, and Vici Gaming are just like, wherever SF goes, we'll go to.
Yeah.
Look at a follow-up kill on Fade potentially if they get a bit more damage. It doesn't look like they've quite got enough here. Yeah, they do Fade Ball. And then we'll secure the kill. And, well, SF's game for CS, this is not looking like a wise call to send him to the safe lane at this point.
Fade bolted.
Got him.
Somebody did. But I don't know this decision is working out necessarily. Because it's not even like the DK is going to fare extremely well against the DP.
Man, this Void is 5 CS though against Omni9.
Yeah,
so
that's what I mean.
There's one lane that's going incredibly well.
You
Is he
get
dead?
bodied in this lane. I think he might be dead.
Oh, Yang didn't even... He could have chased him a bit further for a couple right clicks, it felt like.
I think he would have had him.
May still. He's got boots and Void has to get the hell away, and Yang...
I think he's dead.
Yeah, one more heal. He's got sig charges, a couple more mana. Is he even going to need it? Nope.
Nah.
Kill it top, Yang. That's my boy Yang as he kills Paparazzi.
Your boy.
Bottom lane. Well, this time SF, he's the one going on the aggressive. It really feels like a numbers game. This SF has multiple supports running on him. He's going down, but when he's got the backup and support, he's able to get these kills.
The unfortunate part for Vici, though, is that they can't contest Thunder up at top.
They're just going to have to leave this Omni and let Void kind of struggle a bit.
Yeah, because you can't... There's no way at this point that you killed Omni. He's level 5.
Yeah, we see this
this.
SF going. Yeah, the SF's constantly the target they want to go for here. Ayo trying to bait them into a cast, nicely bouncing around between 2 heroes here. They're going to get at least 1 return kill.
It's fine trade.
SF still goes down, so... You think fine trade for VGJ to get that, or you mean just for Vici?
I mean, I think... I'm gonna say that Vici. Let's just call it Vici and then let's call it Thunder.
Yeah, Vici versus Thunder. I like
Vici versus Thunder. Come on, man. Like, okay, you get one rebrand. Okay, you get one rebrand for your team, and you gotta name it something somewhat different. Like LFI and LGD, I'm okay with that. As a return kill on 11 seems inevitable. Oh, what?
my gosh, he's gonna get away.
Tilted.
That raindrop.
That raindrop endless wand.
You know,
They thought they had him, so
they stopped hitting and chasing.
they were just like, ah, he's gonna pop.
I feel bad for the Void because like he even bought an Orb of Venom. When you buy an Orb of Venom and you're in this situation, it's like why do you even bother buying an Orb of Venom?
Yeah.
You're clearly not going to win the aggression battle against the Omni Knight.
Paparazzi.
He's not getting Orb of Venom hits off right now.
Yeah. Paparazzi also like one of the renowned is one of the best in terms of mechanical skill. Did you hear about that rumor? It was like way back when Wings were looking to swap out Shadow and they wanted Paparazzi.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be a cool change. Oh, Silent mid. Exorcism. First of the game being used. The 3 heroes swing on in. Get the kill. And the punish is bottom lane. You're going to reveal all your supports there. Again, we see the SF. Oh my gosh, don't hit a creep. You had that kill.
You fool. You needed those.
That's not even on the supports. That's on him.
Yeah, that really is.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
he
great.
might just be tilted.
Freeze was a guy I used to give a lot of shit to for some of his play, but he's definitely improved a lot.
He's stepping up.
Yeah. VGJ just won a land. They 3 ODG.
Yeah. They're good. I thought, so obviously we have our like 3 like powerhouses, right? And they only take games off each other. I think in the minor or major system, the only team that's taken a game off any of the top 3, EG took 1 best-of-3 against VP at DreamHack, which could have gone the other way if you watched those games. I think VP after game 1 where they were up like 30k tilted.
Okay.
But I thought that after that tournament, maybe VGJ was like in that realm of discussion. Maybe they were the 4th team up there.
This is perhaps the tournament to make a name for yourself and say, look, where we should be talked about in the same group as Secret, VP, and Liquid.
Do the Ice Shards trick? No, he's dead.
Too long a silence as he gets brought down. Look at the D-Ward as well. Vici going to be pretty happy about this mid lane. Death Prophet getting a kill, and also top of the CS charts. DK, though, similarly, even though he goes down, does have perfectly adequate farm.
And you notice that 11, no matter what happens where his supports are, he's running at them at bottom. So he understands that even if he dies, it's an okay death.
22 nice.
Yeah.
You can talk about conversion, but I feel like only 8 or 9 of those are conversion denies at most.
Nah, he's botting right now.
Yeah.
The Western players think that 11 is the best offlaner.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, they respect him a lot.
Sumel was tagged up as 11 or something for a while.
Yeah, I think he still is on his Smurf.
Okay.
And Zai, I know Zai respects him a lot because I was talking to him about it. There was a game where like, ooh, nice, he caught them both
Right
on the edge.
Crypto coming in as well. They've got a silence, so no snowball, no shenanigans. Really well played by the offlaner we were just talking about.
He caught them like both on the lip. But up at top, Paparazzi should die here.
So that's kind of the trade-off. Both teams safe lane going very poorly. A Void that's underfarmed and SF that's underfarmed. It feels like on paper that's better for Vici because Void you've still got Chrono.
Yeah. I think so too. And now they bring SF at cover like, guys, this is...
I feel like he's going to get chased wherever he goes though. Death Prophet can easily kill him.
Yeah. That's the point now, right? He's just like moving around, but... There was like some game where, at Starladder, where 11 was playing Timbersaw and he just kept dying nonstop. And I was asking somebody about that, and they're just like, yeah, it looks like he's... On paper, it looks like he's like this moron that just like runs in and dies, but he's like, you don't quite understand when you're playing the actual game itself, when you have a player like that still does well, and even if he dies a bunch, like you don't get disheartened as long as you're aware of what he's doing and why he's doing it, because he's freeing up space for everybody else. Like this Ori was not touched once mid as a result of this. And unfortunately, well, Paparazzi wasn't touched at top, but he got solo kill. But normally in that situation, like Paparazzi would also have a free game, so he frees up so much of the map, just this one player. And when you have that, like it alleviates all the pressure.
We'll see continued pressure bottom as he takes the tier 1 tower and continues to even remain down there, almost daring VGJ.Thunder to come and get him. Thunder for now, focus mid lane. Dragon form wearing off though, so won't be too much more out of that. What's Enigma, let's say Omni building to? Can we just be a fast phase drums?
Yeah, it's
Nothing crazy.
super standard now.
Yep. Probably see the Enigma Midas, I imagine.
Yeah, that's what it is in the West anyways. Nobody builds Soul Ring very much on Enigma anymore.
No, it's even before the change to the gauntlets. It seemed like the Arcane's Rush was just so popular because it gives you this really big mana pool, and you don't actually need Soul Ring with it.
I know that was such an iconic item pairing, Enigma plus Soul Ring, but almost everybody was just getting straight up Arcanes. Like, this is really old school. What he's doing right here?
He's doing Rush. It's like the puppy old school Enigma build.
Yeah. Plus the Soul Ring, like nobody does that.
The Soul Ring makes more sense now in the context of getting a mech.
Yes.
You have enough mana with just Arcane Boots, but you don't have mana for mech.
Oh, beast.
Next one of those items, I feel like, is in a pretty bad place.
They want to just team fight.
Yeah.
They want to get into the 5-on-5.
It's not an amazing game for like a Greaves by any means, nothing really crazy to bridge off, but yeah, the mech itself is
Well,
a good 5v5 item.
if you get off the first like burst from Thunder, like you're okay. The fight is really nice, and I think they recognize if the Void had a better game, I think you can alternate your build. But because the Void has had such a poor game, he's not going to scale in the same sense that you like. And the way that you come back in Dota nowadays is just to get into team fights.
Definitely a pretty damn scary team fight. His Black Hole coming back up soon. On the other side is Thunder trying to chip at this mid-tier 1 tower, looking for a fast Shadow Blade on their Dragonite. They have the 2 top farmers right now, although perhaps not the top farmers they'd like. The Shadow Fiend is the hero they wish that farm was on.
He'll come back though. This mid tower would be very huge for them, and they should know this. Everyone from Vici should be here right now. Like, I'd be pinging like crazy. Defend this tower at all costs.
They got the Rubik Dragon form. How can they not defend it? Snowball in. They're going to go straight into the Death Prophet.
They don't see
TP's
11.
coming in. Oh, he's coming ready for a Black Hole. Omni needs to position well here to make sure they don't get caught. Exorcism was committed, so if they can just disengage, that is the perfect outcome.
They need all in for the
to
tower
Thunder.
themselves.
Yeah, that's it. They want the tower now with the Dragon form. They actually do extra damage. There we go.
There's something so ridiculous. You know, you look over the battlefield, you see yourself. There's some metaphor there.
Can they defend this one?
Try.
He doesn't have to be a dragon.
Oh, he got the lift.
Okay.
And he has the silence.
They're going to get... Oh, perfect Chronosphere onto 2 as well. If they can burst down the Omni, there's just going to be no save whatsoever. Fade is perhaps next, and Black Hole is going to get thrown out just on 2 supports. The record from the high ground is just purely defensive.
If they can get Kama as well, Lanham is trying. I'm so used to seeing him
I
with
was
the
like,
stun.
where's the DK stun?
You're conditioned into it, right?
Yeah. We've already got
He
that
kind of
first
has it.
He's got the stun.
Some real ability draft shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he was chasing after that stuff. I was like, alright, where's the Dragon Tail? But Paparazzi Battlefury queued up, so he's got his catch-up lined up.
That is such an unlikely spell to steal. Not Cask, but DK farm.
Yeah, I guess in the context, he was just like used it to chip at mid lane. So if you're there, but yeah, it's not really a dream spell, but it's one you may as well grab because you use it and then you can just steal more stuff.
Yeah. What are like the hardest spells to steal? What's near impossible?
People always talked about like Deathward because you can toggle the heal.
Yeah.
What was the other one that someone was saying you should never be able to steal?
Gyro ult. It's really hard. Oh,
Okay.
Paparazzi might get smoked on. He senses this though, but he's kind of worked into a corner and they might see him. Sylar, he's making his way through, gets the stun off. Where's the follow-up? Oh, there it is.
Burst him before he can get out. I think Super Breaker charges one because you can toggle your passive.
Yeah.
And then no chance to take charge.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Revival
Dire's
of the
bottom
mech
tower
build.
is under attack. Dire's
not-
structures
It's a little decent number of mechs.
Can we see how many soul rings have been bought in this patch by anyone? I'm like somewhat curious about that.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Alright, so
Bottom
silence onto the Omni.
He's the one who really needs some way of
Bottom tower
purging off silences, be it a Greaves or a Yule Scepter as it looks like he's going. Sylar goes in, gets the stun out. Can he get the burst onto the Rubik? He goes down to start things off here, and they want to fight. They know there's no Black Hole
Radiant's top tower
for the time being, as the Snowball being powered up by the Tusk. He's going to be probably going into his death here. Pulling nice and deep into the base. We'll bring him down. DK farm at top. SF's already back to the lane and jungle to farm, so not the biggest loss, and also not the biggest kill for Thunder.
I think Ori is okay with committing these ults, by the way, because their team scales. Like, oftentimes when you play DP lineups, your team doesn't scale, and so it's really scary. Every ult used feels like so pivotal. It's like make or break. But when you have these kinds of lineups, like, you're chill. It's like that thing that Trent brought up about what Bulba said. It's like how many lineup versus lineup, how many like team fights does lineup A need to win versus lineup B? And I feel like lineup B really only needs to win like one decisive fight in the mid to late game for them to just take over.
Yep.
Whereas I feel like Thunder have to win fight after fight, and they have to pick up stuff like a Roshan. So like the onus is on them to like make these moves.
Sure. Yeah, and come late game, like they're going to be heavily outclassed in terms of team fight, which is where that one team fight almost feels inevitable. So
Yeah, these like two massive AoE ults, they just get more dangerous because it's like a matter of when at that point. Like if you get a big black hole, like the game becomes very difficult. And in this game, they've got like no stuns for it. So there's no Venge swap or Silencer or Rubik.
I do have we've seen this Omni versus Death Prophet be very effective. You know, if you Black Hole with Exorcism and Omni's not caught in it, throw in something like an Aghanim Scepter could be very game-saving. There's some soaring stats.
Pretty low.
A bit under 50%.
Yeah.
Has been definitely much more. I mean, it has been for a little while. Like, you know, you start with Brown Boots Clarities and just try and farm up your Arcane Boots. Paparazzi again. He's had such a bad game as far as getting caught out. The Cast Maledict. Oh my gosh, he almost got that Time Walk out. They are going to come in look for counter kills here. They've caught 2 with the Spirit Siphon. Young 11 has the Black Hole, but he is not going to need it. Paparazzi, I think when you see that response, is perfectly happy with dying there.
He's like, you fools.
He got in there nice and fast.
Dude, the Spirit Siphon and the Midnight Pulse destroyed that DK.
Yeah.
He died so fast.
Looks like they need the Omni Knife if you want to go aggressive for a play like that. And, well, Exism for a Roshan, you take away one of those much needed Aegises from the Radiant side and kind of buy time to set up that big late game team fight of your own.
Yeah. Roshan is going to be the most important part of this game. At least for Thunder. Because it's the counter to these massive ults. Like when you have ults like Enigma or Doom or Chronosphere, it's like when we used to play against it, it'd be the priority, right? You just get this Aegis to counter it, and it's okay.
I'm hearing is teams need to pick more Wraith King. Built-in Aegis. That's the counter to the big... Wraith King used to be the Doom counter, you know?
Yeah. Until he became unplayable.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like for that hero to come back, because conceptually it's like, it's super awesome. Like, you gotta play around old timer, late game it's very neat. Just feels like he gets kited so easily.
Yeah. It's got a lot of weaknesses to make up for. Or one big major weakness. Mid lane, they're going in. Look for the Enigma Requiem after the Blink Yules, and they're going to look to try and burst down Young 11. No chance for a Black Hole. If he gets that Black Hole out. No, he had no backup. Not even worth using it. If you get a 4-man Black Hole there, you're killing 0 probably.
You never know, David. Oh, this is... That guy's farmed. Ori is really farmed.
Do you like the fast BKB this skin?
I think it's really necessary. Because he has to play like very solo. So it's really important for him to grab this.
Bail him out a bit here, but he's got Aegis and...
They want to fight.
Yeah, exactly. It seems more than anything they do want to fight. Wow, Silas getting brought low quickly. The Chronosphere coming in for Paparazzi, not going to throw it.
He doesn't want to use it with the DP.
No DP ultimate and didn't want to catch her inside it as well. Could throw it for AEO. No, heal scepters enough. Good 2 support kills.
It's BKB 10 second though. Think it's worth it?
I think it's fine.
He didn't need it.
Yep.
He only popped it because he wanted to make sure that Thunder
Didn't go into him yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not... It wasn't needed, but I think it's not a big deal. It's one of those games where the 5-second BKB doesn't feel too crippling for him.
Oh, not at all.
Like, you just want to make sure you don't get blown up by a Requiem as the... Had the Yules, I believe, but just didn't quite get vision in time.
I think he certainly had the Yules. Yeah. That was a long TP, by the way. Did it feel like that? Or was that normal?
They're going to get a couple tower stop, it looks like. Exorcism, if they want to use that for a tier 2 even. They want to fight. They've got every ulti.
You go high ground here if you're Thunder? Or VG?
I just feel like I don't see teams do that this early on very often, even when it feels like they could. With the mech, with the Death Prophet ultimate,
They're not waiting for any
paper
items.
they could.
Paparazzi is like one item.
Yeah, ulti for the tier 2. They may threat in their tier 3. They'll bring this down very quickly. The Glyph will delay it a bit, but I think they're backing up.
Yeah, I think Chinese teams are more patient than that.
Yeah. I feel like not many teams are trying to rush like an early high ground when they have these kind of advantages. And he went back for the Midas after the mech, so very much.
Sylar.
Like in here, the Enigma gets bursted down. Item Trap's next here. Nice Chronosphere, but...
The spirits.
Wow. Yeah, Chronosphere with the spirits inside, and Sylar is going to be the next to drop, even with the BKB. That is not going to keep him alive. And
Nice silence.
Ooh. Silence up. He was looking for a repel after the purification here. The chase is on. They want more. Right, Stalker needs to be careful here. He may get blown up himself. The Requiem.
Oh, he mistimed it.
Yeah. Ooh, Fenrir will still go down here, but perhaps stayed alive a little bit longer than he should have. SF Blink on the high ground, bringing down the Rubik here. Nicely played by Freeze. Trying to salvage this one with some good SF play. Still Ori on a big kill streak on the Death Prophet. Completely farmed out of control. Blink is available, and he's going to go for it. A couple raises is all that he's got. Not sure if he's got the damage to get this kill. Possibly one, but can they get him twice with the Aegis here? They're going to go diving in, they want, or they bring him down one. Do they stick around for two? Seems like a bad idea with Enigma returning, and it's going to be Vici in hot pursuit looking for AO as Paparazzi forced to time walk out. It's a bit unnecessary to chase. That Aegis was probably going to expire in the next minute or so anyways, but you know, why not?
When was Aegis taken?
The time you got your shot would have expired in what, 50 seconds from now then? But hey, you got that Aegis.
That was weird though. I think the SF combo is like really hard to miss.
He started channeling way too early.
Yeah,
that was like even me in my head. I'm not an SF player, but the second he started channeling, I was like, wait, aren't you meant to wait for like half a second at least?
Yeah, it's even because your move speed is so high that like the internal clock has to be like half a beat off. But for the most part, like if you play the hero a lot, which you should, right, then you have a general understanding of it.
So I'm got the earlier one with good timing, but you got 40 movement speed. He is now moving fast.
There's no. The crazy thing is like there was no rush because he was repelled.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm focusing on that so much.
Nah, it's all good.
I'm not trying to flame it. It's more just like surprising when things like that happen. It's like a dude who got breathe fire killed.
Yeah, that's the thing. The pros will make mistakes too.
Yeah.
As it stands, very, very even game. It is going into that late game where we kind of favor Vici with the big ultimates. And particularly Ori farmed out of control right now on Death Prophet. Maybe concerns around Paparazzi not having that same level of farm. Has got a Battle Fury, but ultimately does feel like he is a bit behind.
I don't think he'll ever get farm.
Even with the Battle Fury?
Yeah, because the objective of his team has changed, right? So when is he ever just going to hit creeps?
Do you think he should have gone a different build?
I was contemplating that in my head real fast, like if you go for something more old school, but I don't think so because what do you really
Silence on Tusk. Go on. And you look to bring him down to start things off here, and the Night Stalker wasn't even looking at the Tusk. He was immediately running past trying to find a secondary kill, which may be on
Yo,
Yang.
guys, you are not killing Yang.
He just got his blink to live. I think that was the courier dropping it off. So
yeah.
He walked back to it for that very reason. And Vici will fall back. Perhaps going to be looking for an opening to use that Exorcism. Second Roche may be what Vici will play around, since really they have control over the pit. With the big ultimates with Exorcism, they can very easily secure themselves a Roche, it feels like.
I'd like for Paparazzi to go like Nullify or something.
So you want very much damage scaling carry items.
Yeah, because you're never going to be the priority in these fights, and you need the first initial to be very strong. Yep. And it's one of the few items that purges, right? It gets rid of the GA.
That's true.
And it's nice to counter the Omni and the SF as well, so you can't Yules. They're going to smoke again? Do they have one?
Sure, it looks like it when you... These smokes I never like because it's like you've been waiting for the smoke for so long.
They're waiting for the counter smoke.
They realize Thunder's smoked up, looking to go on them.
They
the slow smokes always feel bad. It's like, you know, they know we're smoking once you've been missing from the map 30 seconds waiting for it to arrive on courier.
They know they're on the high ground. 100%. Yep. And the creeps will confirm it too.
Sigil comes in, scouts them out, and we'll see if they run at them. Sigil on both sides. It's a stolen one for the Rubik. But he's going That Vici Gaming sigil. This is the perfect game for it.
Wonder, like,
I think you both had. They Rubik had it too.
when Vici wins, everyone wins.
Yeah. This feels like a propaganda match.
If there's like a tournament where Jack Squad is on there as well.
Don't they have? Yeah, they have 3 teams now with Storm. It
Yeah.
used to be Vici Gaming. What was the other one? Potential. I think
Yeah.
that's still a team in China. I think
Man,
that's like
come
their
on,
4th
guys.
team.
You get 2.
That was always the rule with China. And then,
You get 2.
and then eHome and others started like breaking. It was like eHome L and eHome K.
eHome's got like 16 different squads they front. I hope the other Vici makes it though.
NA Vici.
Yeah, any Vici. Shoutouts to BSJ. Hope to see him on more lands.
They've been, I think, they've surprised people because those talks like this new Vici no longer an NA threat now, but they were causing
Yeah.
upsets. BSJ 2ODG, man.
Never forget when he was on the Vice. Man, we spent an inordinate amount of time talking about BSJ.
There's probably a good 2% of our viewers who tuned in unaware that this is not his team, They're like, they're just watching this game, like not really focused that much. Probably don't even listen to us cast, so they're going to keep watching because they just see the team name up top and they're like playing Dota with this on the side, thinking they're watching a BSJ game.
They're like, is BSJ really in anime? Like, is he this Sylar guy from his...
Yeah, never heard of. That's a new name. I haven't heard of him.
Man, BSJ is owning.
Paparazzi, it looks like BKB, so wanting to have a way to just go into the fight for a bit more, not have to worry about some of the disables on lockdown. Game has slowed down. Again, second Roshan perhaps key here. It has respawned fairly quickly, I want to say, but that seems like something that is very difficult for Thunder to actually contest. They smoked just in the pillars.
They want to refresh the third one as fast as possible.
Yeah, that refresher shot is going to be... As much as, Aegis Cheese maybe high ground a clock, I think more than anything, Vici's probably even thinking, like, who knows if we can even high ground with this. We're not going to have Exorcism for a couple of minutes, which is always the kind of double-edged sword with using Exorcism to take Roche, is that a good couple minutes of that Roche time is just farming.
Yeah. I like how Ori's been playing this DP, though. Like, he uses his ult, like, it's up, it's go time. Like, let's smash. Because Thunder is not taking advantage of the cooldown at all. And if you're not taking advantage of the cooldown, then it doesn't matter that you're just popping it whenever you feel like, right? And I think a lot of players are way too hesitant to use it because they're anticipating a fight that's never quite there.
Okay.
Then you lose opportunities. Because it's nighttime right now. Like, if you're Thunder, logically you should say go for it. But it's still scary because you have 2 massive AoE ults, and you're still fighting into an Aegis and double BKB. Like, it's not so straightforward. Like, I like the way that they set up this Death Prophet pick. Because oftentimes with DP, the issue with the hero is that, like, you get this, like, one shot. And if you don't use that timing, like, with the hero, oftentimes, like, you just straight up lose.
They've also got the Night Stalker on their side, so the vision game actually often favors them, even when it's nighttime. Typically, like, nighttime, let's go ganking. It's a lot easier to find pickoffs, but, Night Stalker giving them some really good vision. Setting up a lot of deep wards as well now. Interesting little build with the Glimmer Cape. And you're playing effectively a somewhat 5 position here on the Night Stalker.
He wants to be able to survive the Shadow Fiend burst. But I think they have triple BKB now on the side of Vici. Like, they're super chill.
Yeah, and this is the big late game timing of Enigma. BKB Black Hole
Radiant's
and
middle tower is under attack.
try and cancel it,
Yeah.
says 11. Blink tough, so there is possibility if you can blink behind him and get that Walrus Punch on him, but very difficult.
Like, this guy has an Orchid now. He's gonna... He hits kind of hard, but now everyone has BKBs. How long until DP ult? I know it's still on CD, but it can't be much longer. Somebody has to shove out top. 10 seconds. Like, they've timed this very well. Like, Vici's playing this pretty smooth.
They TP'd Void top, but they still may be looking to linger for... Oh! Very smooth indeed, William.
11!
He saw, he's like... Clicks.
Oh, he felt it. He said, boom, suckers, game over. Game, set, match. Oh, no.
Is that one of the ways you should just, like, throw Malice's first to make sure you stop he doesn't get that blink out, and he's not going to dodge your black
he
hole?
thought he was just going to get in from fall. Kamo is really quick on that, to be fair.
I guess he wants to black hole before SF even
Yeah.
could even do anything, yeah.
Oh.
He went Ags SF. Okay. Full spellcaster. This is definitely one of the
Dire are scanning.
fun builds to watch.
It's just unfortunate because everyone's got
Tower is under attack.
BKB, yeah.
item.
Sure. The Hex is level 25 with Hex. That cooldown is going to be pretty absurd.
Yeah. Same with like your blink is pretty much like perma.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
It's but you try and burst them like during, like the Hex, for example, with your nukes or your ultimate, or the like if DK can get a stun off on someone, you instantly blink Requiem.
Oh, he has a sentry behind the tower. I think you should know that,
Yeah.
Siler. That's why he's not like full committing.
Goes in, gets Death Prophet
Very
here.
nice lift.
Yep, instantly lifted here. The snowball follow-up.
He needs
Can they
BKB up.
burst the Death Prophet here? The Chronosphere comes in. BKB from Ori will look to turn this one. 11 does not have a black hole. They're trying to fight with it down, but unfortunately for them, the Chronosphere and Exorcism looks to be enough here. Silas underneath the tower in so deep against the Exorcism. No
He got
chance
perma-bashed.
to hold his own against that. SF's Requiem comes in now, heals him back to full, but doesn't matter when you've got 5 heroes surrounding you as Freeze brought down the BKBs. You know, it's too much for a team fight when you've got all those BKBs.
The triple BKBs, like... Okay, so the idea was burst Ori as fast as we can, and then all the damage is gone. So even if we get chronoed, we'll just pop Omni ults, it won't matter. But the problem is, Ori has cheese. Like, the second Roshan mattered so much, like, he just pops cheese. He was at like 30% HP. Reasonably, even with just right clicks, he dies there. But he gets the cheese off at like 400 health or something like that. They turn it off by no problem. And that's why, for VG.Thunder, like, it was really important that they got these Roshans.
And they're just fully controlled by Vici now, so very difficult. Next one will be Refresher Shard as well, which is really problematic there.
Rubik has the SF ult.
Okay, nice. Nice little spell to have. The Blink Dagger as well on top of that. We'll see Amelie Rax be claimed and they'll back off. It's really a situation where Thunder kind of kicking themselves because they didn't have to go for that big aggressive play. They could have waited out the Aegis. At that point, the Exorcism had been committed and or the Black Hole had been committed, and Vici were not looking to go for a high ground push. So they were the ones that decided, you know, Black Hole down, let's go run at them, but ultimately backfired pretty poorly.
It's like it's weird though in terms of like decision making, because every time an ult is used, Thunder hasn't been abusing it. And at what point do you just like continue to let them farm everywhere on the map without contesting anything, right? Like there has to be some kind of timing in your head where you're just like, screw it, like we have to do something, because they hadn't taken a fight in a while, David.
It's like you're not going to win the game if you're just going to sit on your side of the map against a team with those big late game ultis and potentially every single Roche for free.
Yeah, and we talked about like the issues with going late game against our lineup anyways.
Yeah.
So
I think it's just a really good point to bring up that, you know, they could have waited and just not gone for this big aggressive push here, but ultimately that's not going to win you the game. There's the cheese, Ori able to instantly heal himself back up, and
he would have died.
what a good Chronosphere too.
Yeah, that was a sick chrono.
Omni couldn't get GA or anything off.
Then he got perma-bashed.
Yeah, then he got perma-bashed. Paparazzi's chrono just as important as that cheese. Omni right on. If he's not on the edge of that and gets a G off, they can at least, even though DP will get the cheese out, they can sustain
fight
through it and fight. They can fight into
Yeah.
that Exorcism because they've got Guardian Angel.
He has Ags too on Omni. So just not getting caught in the chrono would have been enough.
That's kind of the one big thing, yeah.
Yeah, Yang got way too eager there.
Yeah, it's
Because
like
the
we're
GA
going
should be
in, and
priority.
it's hard because you know you've got to you want to burst that death prophet for cheese, so you're thinking my heal could be the difference, and I want to be in range to use it. But that's when you set yourself up for that chrono.
I think the fight is still really difficult at that point because they're under the tower and there's no disengage. But maybe it's not like, it was like a what, 5-0 or something?
See where to next. 4-star gem picked up on Fenrir, so the vision game going to be looking pretty scary for Vici once they find these wards to deward.
So people thinking like, okay, so there's such an overwhelming amount of team fight, like how do you counter lineups like this? I think oftentimes like you have this hero that can just play really mobile and secures you the late game, then you don't feel any pressure. Then the pressure is now on Vici to end it with their ults.
Okay.
But because I don't think that Thunder wins late game, they're having to fight into these like triple ults that they don't feel good about.
You need the kind of like the bigger late game carry in a sense.
Yeah.
Silo running in there, was finding a Millennium who will instantly blink out.
That feeling sucks, right? When you know you can't win the fights and you know you don't win late game.
Yeah. See if they can find a way to make this work. They've got the BKB on SF. They're going to try and bring down this tier 2 tower. Stolen Dragonfall again from the Rubik.
Wild. He pops it
Oh
immediately.
yeah, he's ready to go.
Confuse them.
Yeah, just run into the Radiant side
flick it, yeah.
and act like you're a teammate. Oh, gets the repel off. Actually gets the stun out. BKB Black Hole coming out on the Dragon Knight. No Walrus Punch for this one. GA is there. He still goes down. The axe damage is just insane.
He caught them with the Chrono 2 in the back.
Oh, this is going to set up at least one, possibly several follow-up kills. The blinking Lanem Rubik Dragon will find the Shadow Fiend, and
They
they're just going to
call
GG.
it.
Yeah.
That is like, they called that immediately. There was no hesitation in that whatsoever. I think they just realized like that game was, at that point it was just.
I was looking at the Enigma axe like, oh, is this really the item? Like, don't you want like the either cooldown of Octarine or like a refresher? But hey, he can actually kill people when they're GA because he gets all this extra magic damage. So he black holes people, they GA, well, doesn't necessarily work.
Yeah, I think at that point, like, I don't know. It's just, it's a really awkward position to put yourself in because you're sitting there thinking to yourself like, okay, we don't win the late game, we can't win the team fights, even when they expend these like massive ultis. We're just sitting there, and we're just like, what do we do? What do we do?
Yep. Well, we'll see what they can do to adjust in game number 2. How much was the draft, do you feel, versus other things? I mean, obviously the late game, the team fight was inferior, but could they have done more earlier on?
70% draft, 30% laning.
Okay.
You agree?
Yeah.
Like the
I'm down.
comma bottom.
Oh yeah. Sending SF bottom for that, and the Accept just seemed like a pretty questionable pickup too. I don't know. Well, I'm not sure what that was meant to do.
High five,
give
good
them.
cast.
Yeah. Congrats ourselves. Some congrats to Vici as well. They did it right. They get the win in game 1. We'll maybe give them some more credit if they take game 2. But we'll go back to the panel where Paul is ready to break down game number 1.
Yeah, congrats, Gods. Congrats, Blitz. Well played. Good game. You played that one really well. Wait, what? Vici Gaming coming through in our first matchup. Wasn't entirely impressive all the way through, but they did exactly enough to win that first game. Let's find out what our panel members Fogged and Cap had to make of that one particular game. Cap?
So I just went over to Fogged. I had some sort of weird revelation. I don't know what happened, but I was looking at Dota Buff, and I was looking at one of the numbers. I wanted to see what the gold per minute Kama had. And for whatever reason, it shows I'm a Dota buff as Freeze. And I was like, oh yeah, he is Freeze.
Yes, he is.
And I hated on Freeze for the longest time, so I don't know why all of a sudden I was like, man, I just think VGJ.Thunder looks like a better team, so I chose them.
I don't know if you know, but the rumor that I got
I realized I sided with Freeze.
Right, the rumor I got from Jack was that he changed his name because he was fed up with Western commentators slagging him off.
Well, I'm onto his tricks now.
That sounds false.
Because that was not, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that SF build.
No.
That's just personally me, but it wasn't the only problem. I would say, like, we both like the draft of Vici Gaming. The DK feels a little awkward. I don't know, man. It just seemed like they weren't going to be able to accomplish enough.
I feel like I'm beating it to death, but I'm gonna just keep saying it. I feel like these games are so much determined on these team fights. Like they only have really like their team fights pretty minimal. It's like Omni Knight, Shadow Fiends, their big team fight abilities. When you look at Vici, they've got Chrono, Death Prophet, Enigma.
I mean, that said, they didn't really deploy them all that effectively.
But they didn't need
it wasn't
to.
like sick 4-man, or it was nothing like that. It was just efficient.
Yeah, it's efficient
Just
usage.
got it done.
And it's I touched on a little bit too. Is I was looking at this draft and I'm like, how does Thunder actually contest the Roche? And I thought as the game progressed, it would just get worse and worse because then you're dealing with Refresher Shard. If it ever got to that point, Enigma, Void, Death Prophet with Refresher Shards, game is going to be super difficult. I think when you're playing Omni Knight, this is also really hard to play Omni Knight. He's playing versus Rubik, but also Night Stalker and Death Prophet. You have to have ways to remove that silence from yourself. He has to completely change his build up. He went Yules, but then he went Aghanims. I feel like you need, like, as awkward as it is, like Guardian Greaves, Lotus Orb, some more ways to get rid of those silences on yourself to be able to help your teammates. But then also, it's, Rubik's just stealing all your spells the whole time.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? He's scared of doing anything when he knows he's in the vicinity. So
yeah, I think I understand the concept of Aghanim, so he stays so far back he doesn't get caught in the black hole. But like another solution is also Aeon Disc. Like there are more traditional builds for the Omni Knight to be able to deal with this. Right, so
I like that one. Yeah,
I think there was definitely builds that he could have gone for that would have been more effective. All around, I think the interesting idea, though, from this game that I'm going to take away is that the Enigma, as a potential counterpick to Omni Knight, we saw the effectiveness of that against the Omni in multiple ways. Just felt awkward to play Omni against the Enigma. You can still get damage in through the Guardian Angel with your Black Hole Midnight Pulse. There's just a lot of interesting things that I personally felt like Enigma was not a very good offlaner right now, but now I see like a good reason why we can pick
Specific.
It up. Yeah.
It can be a specific.
Yeah, situational hero for sure.
They also played really cool around it, right? They didn't really. They were like, oh man, this Omni Knight's off lane. Meh, we'll just leave Paparazzi alone versus it. He's gonna get crushed. But we're gonna have our Enigma very farmed, and we're not gonna let this safe lane Shadow Fiend do very well.
Having that in the Void, do you
Safe lane
feel
Shadow Fiend.
having that and the Void in the game also meant that VGJ were very conscious they couldn't group up too
Yeah.
well, and you saw them just splitting off all the time because they were like, we just don't want to get caught by both of these. And then you'd see like a Black Hole, and then you'd see the Chrono. It was almost like a one after the other because they knew that they just couldn't group up, and they got rid of one, then grouped up, and then got caught by the other one.
And if they do that split up thing that you're talking about, then, like we were saying, it's not like these super flashy black holes with Chronos,
Yeah.
but then it's like, oh, this guy's splitting up and his team's
Yeah, well, let's just get rid of
Might
it.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think
exactly.
that was efficient, wasn't it, for Vici? They weren't afraid of just going, well, there's one guy here, there's four of us. Let's just get rid of him.
So
I know
at the end
we're-
of the day, if you're operating under these long cooldowns, VGJ, they never like actually went aggressive. You know, they never really took it
I was gonna
repeatedly
say,
back to Vici Gaming when those cooldowns are down and
Right,
just
and
go,
that was the
we're
point.
taking over the map
Right,
now.
so they do one, they do the next one, and then you go, right, now we go.
Yeah,
And there just wasn't any of that next gear, was there?
I mean, like there was some times where they would like, okay, they kind of force a fight and everything, but I didn't feel like they retained control.
Right.
They're like, you want a team fight? No, we want a kind of team fight, and then we're gonna go back to our side and farm some more. Like that's not how that lineup's
So I
really
know
gonna work.
we're really killing Thunder a bit here.
Yeah, you
so
are.
I do want to give.
You kind of are.
I do want to give a bit of credit. I thought Ori played this game incredibly well. His Death Prophet, he
All
was phenomenal. Like very, very. Actually, I don't think like any mistakes. I didn't really see come out of him.
But that's not going to make much difference if the rest of the team can't go with him.
What?
It's not going to make much difference if he's the only one in the team.
Death Prophet, but he owned and his team owned.
Yeah.
Vici
Oh,
Gaming.
right.
or-
Yeah, sorry, the other way around.
Yeah, yeah, it's Vici Gaming. Vici Gaming.
I'm like, wait, did I
Like,
say the wrong one?
Stop
Am I
going
being dumb?
with both team names.
It's okay,
Like, why
yeah.
do they have to do two team names and confuse old people?
There you go.
Why'd I have to
you
do
took
that?
the words out of my mouth.
Right, time to head to a break because obviously I need my medication. And when we come back, we'll be getting into game number 2 between the two Vici Gamings.
I think you should know that. That's why he's not like
Goes in, gets Death Prophet.
very
here.
nice lift.
Yep. Instantly lifted here, the snowball. Follow up.
He needs
and
BKB
then
up.
goes to Death Prophet here, the Chronosphere comes in. BKB from Ori will look to turn this one. 11 does not have a black hole. They're trying to fight with it down, but unfortunately for them, the Chronosphere and Exodus looks to be enough here. Silas underneath the tower in so deep against the Exodus. No
Got
chance
from a bash.
to hold his own against that. SF's Requiem comes in now, heals him back to full, but doesn't matter when you've got 5 heroes surrounding you. As brought down the BKBs, you know.
Predator takes you to the edge.